Winnie the Pooh, Book 12, Cozy Beds. There's Pooh and Eeyore, and I think that's Piglet, or that might be a stuffed animal. I'm not sure. And it looks like this book got just a little bit wet. I'm not sure what happened to it. Oh, look at all that snow. One night in early winter, a snowflake fell in the 100-acre wood. It was followed by another and another. Soon the air was thick with spinning, swirling flakes. They fell all night, and by morning the forest was sleeping beneath a blanket of snow. There's a couple of squirrels, some birds, and of course, Pooh's house with a little chimney. It's got snow on the door and a window. It's a lot of snow. Oh, they have a snowflake right there. Pooh was sleeping too, but his blanket wasn't as big. When he pulled it up to his neck, his toes stuck out, and when he rolled over, a breeze tickled him from behind. It kept tickling until finally he yawned and opened his eyes. "Oh, bother," he said. "I suppose it's time to get up." That blanket just wasn't big enough to cover 'em all. I have more than one blanket in my room. As Pooh rolled out of bed, he heard a tapping at the door. He opened it, and there was little Roo, who said, "Get up, Pooh, come out and play." Oh, Roo looked awfully excited. Over Roo's shoulder, Pooh saw Kanga waving to him. She called, "We're going to the pond. Would you like to join us?" Smiling sleepily, Pooh changed out of his nightshirt, wrapped a scarf around his neck, and followed Roo outside. They joined Kanga, and the three of them walked down the hill toward the pond. Pooh said, "Everything is so peaceful after it snows. Isn't it wonderful?" You can see where they're walking, and I think that he's You can see where they're walking, and I think that he's jumping in circles around them. "It sure is," Roo replied. Unable to contain his excitement, he hopped around in a circle, shouting, "Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful." I was correct. He is jumping around in a circle. When they reached the pond, it looked different than Roo remembered. He bit down and felt its surface. "Mama," he cried, "the water's not wet anymore." "That's because it turned to ice," she told him. "It happens in the winter, when the weather gets very cold." Pooh looks happy. And Kanga looks happy. Roo was confused, but I think he's happy now. And look at all that snow. Oh my. Roo carefully stepped out onto the ice. "It's slippery," he said. "Come on, Pooh, let's slide." First Roo slid, then Pooh slid, then Roo pushed Pooh along the ice, pretending to be a train. "Toot, toot, here we come," said Roo. Not too fast, dear, King called. But Roo was having so much fun that he didn't hear her. Putting his head down, he pushed faster and faster. When he looked up, he was near the edge of the pond. Roo tried to stop, but it was too late. Then Pooh Roo train slid off the pond and into a snowbank. Well, at least it was soft. Giggling, the two friends climbed to their feet. To their surprise, so did the snowbank. They looked more closely and saw that it was Eeyore. Eeyore, what are you doing here? Asked Gru. Sleeping, he replied in a mournful voice. At least, I was trying to. Pooh, always wanting to be polite, asked, How are you this morning, Eeyore? Eeyore said, For a freezing donkey, I'm doing fine. Thank you. Aww. Brushing an icicle from his nose, Eeyore explained that ever since winter had begun, he'd been having trouble finding a place to sleep. His twig house was drafty and kept blowing down in the wind, so he decided to try a spot near the pond, sheltered by some trees. Then the snow had come, and during the night, Eeyore had turned into a snowbank. Now I suppose I'll never find a good place to rest, he sighed. Roo said, You could sleep in Mama's pouch. I wouldn't mind. Yes, that would be nice, said Eeyore sadly, except for one small detail. Or rather, one large detail. Me. Because he is much bigger than he is. He's not going to fit in that pouch. Kanga said, Eeyore, maybe it would help to see where other animals sleep during the winter. That might give you some ideas. I suppose it couldn't hurt, Eeyore said hopefully. As they set off through the forest, Kanga explained, when winter comes, the days get shorter, and lots of plants and animals decide to take a nice long rest. Is that why the bees have stopped buzzing? Asked Pooh. Yes, it is, said Kanga. Bees don't fly in the winter, but you'll see them again in the spring. Oh, look where Roo went. Kanga went on. Some animals fall asleep for the whole winter. Frogs, earthworms, and salamanders sleep just under the surface of the ground, but woodchucks like to dig nests deeper down. I'm sure underground is a very nice place to sleep, if one likes that sort of thing, said Eeyore. Further along the path, they saw two sets of tracks in the snow. Oh, bother, said Pooh, glancing around nervously. I think there may be woozies nearby. Kanga smiled. Don't worry, Pooh, she said reassuringly. Those tracks are from a mouse and a raccoon. They don't sleep all winter long. Instead, they run around enjoying themselves, eating things like berries, bark, and seeds. See the footprints? Speaking of food, Pooh said, I've got some honey at my house. Would anyone care to join me for a little smackerel of something? It was good thinking to store some honey for the winter, said Kanga, because bees don't make honey during cold weather. Very good thinking, exclaimed Roo. I'm hungry. Me too, added Eeyore, who had not had his breakfast. Along the way to Pooh's house, Roo pointed to a small brown pouch dangling from a tree branch. What's that, Mama? He asked. See it? That pouch is called a cocoon, and a caterpillar wove it to live in during the winter, she explained. When the spring comes, the caterpillar will turn into a moth or butterfly and fly away. Just then, a squirrel darted up the tree trunk past a bright red cardinal. Where do squirrels and birds sleep in the winter? Roo wanted to know. They don't sleep for long, but when they do, they have cozy nests to use, his mother replied. Eeyore gazed upward. How nice for them, he said. Too bad donkeys can't climb trees. What are they going to do to help him? Eeyore shook his head sadly and said, Kanga, thank you for showing me all these different places, but I don't think it helps. Birds and chipmunks and caterpillars and squirrels have places to sleep during the winter, but not me. Oh, well. The four friends continued up the path, and soon they came to Pooh's house. As Pooh looked at it, he felt something odd happen. It was like an itch, but it was inside his head. The feeling spread, and all at once Pooh knew what it was. It was an idea, and it was bursting to get out. See the look on his face? He knows there's something in his head. He doesn't quite know what it was. And then it's an idea. I wonder what the idea is. Eeyore must sleep at my house, Pooh announced finally. But where? Wondered Eeyore. Curled on a rug or snuggled on a pillow, suggested Pooh. Pooh, that sounds like a lovely idea, said Kanga. Can I sleep over sometime too? Roo asked, jumping up and down excitedly. Boy, he sure jumps up and down a lot, doesn't he? Oh, and Eeyore's looking just a little bit happier. Which is how Eeyore came to spend the long winter night at Pooh's house, with Roo staying for a sleepover every now and then. See? Got Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore out of the snow and Roo. Oh, now that looks nice. When he went to bed each night, Eeyore would think about the animals Kanga had told him about. Wherever they were, Eeyore knew that just like him, he had a cozy bed all his own. Look at that fire. How nice and warm.